certain noise restrictions. Most places have a decibel max of 85, 90 decibels, which is a saxophone unamplified or something like that. It's all very reasonable. I don't want someone playing so loud that they're rattling the teeth of the person in the gift shop behind them. So I think that perfectly makes sense. But understanding that wherever you are in a public space, whether or not it is legally and technically private property, if it is what is called de facto public space, you're allowed to perform there. And making sure that people know that, and making sure that remains true in any public space that is available to everybody, is what my work has become more than anything, especially with the nonprofit.
I think it's doing the good work. Jefferson, I do, and certainly respect the First Amendment as a journalist myself,
right.
Naturally, and the freedom of expression. In a public place is even the most, you have this stump speech and such things like that, and,
right.
and politics used to be a way before amplification. And having someone like you, I believe, is very beneficial to a community, because oftentimes they're disparate. Like, this musician might be doing it once every Friday. This lady might be playing in a band and then perform on the street sometimes. And being a gathering spot, the sum being better than the whole of the parts is. Have you encountered such integrated busking communities in your travels as a busker that you're bringing here, or is it usually that's a good spot, I hope I get there first, each for their own?
So there are some spots in the United States that are they're found to be so good for street performing that and everyone develops their own, some democratic system of organizing who gets what time where to avoid noise pollution, to avoid disputes develop. For example, in Key West, you show up in the morning to a little shack and you draw a key from a bucket, and the key has a number, and the number corresponds to your position on the boardwalk in Mallory Square and to the time that you get. And then in Boston, specifically at Quincy Market, which is the private property of that open air walking mall, there is a program where people who are applied part of the program, accepted there by Quincy Market, get onto a monthly Zoom call and organize in kind of an NBA draft style who gets which spot on a rotating conversational basis. And so at some point, Roanoke might get to be such a popular space for busking that we'll have to institute some kind of democratic way of designating who gets what time, so that it's not a guitar player and a saxophone player 15 feet from each other just creating discordant noise. But for the most part, as we've been showing up since the Theater in the Square weekend in July, people have been working out these differences amongst themselves. Two people that show up to play guitar at the same time will improvise and form a duo immediately. And the collaborative spirit of this is something that I frankly didn't expect. I expected to do a lot more playing the middleman in arguments and disputes, and the fact that everyone's come together in a community where it's not just can we be there at the same time, it's looking forward to being there at the same time. Like, people will get on the Facebook group or they'll contact each other directly saying, hey, I want to go out on Thursday at 5, are you going to be there? Yeah, let's do it together. Has been a lot of fun.